Hello and welcome to the UCM podcast. We got two hosts here today. It's me, Tony Hook, and Dr. Bill Davis. Dr. Bill, welcome to the podcast. We're
Hey,
doing another
Tony.
one.
Excited to be back on the podcast and excited about this topic.
It's cool. It's new. It's fresh. It's been around for a while, right? As far as, kind of in general, but new to us. And I want to know more about this
Yeah.
local social media influencer marketing and like what is this? How can it work? And how can it work for UC docs? So let's just go ahead and just jump right into this because we want to, one of our, actually, let me pause for a second. One of our core values is continual innovation and
Yeah.
making sure as a company we stay relevant and going and going and going and always developing, always refining and stuff like that. So that's kind of how this came about here is delving into new things. And so this is a new thing for us, local, which is cool. Local social media influencer marketing. Get us going with like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about exactly?
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is with social media influencers, just in general, social media influencers. If you look at the internet today, if you look at social media today, if you look at, really just media today, in many ways, it's very, very impacted by social media influencers, right? This could be anyone from, a Jake Paul or, a Alex Hermosi or, all these different types of social media influencers that have these huge followings of millions and millions of people that are really dominating in many ways when it comes to content, right? And are able to sell products and services and all these kinds of things for businesses and really promote different things and even start different businesses themselves and promote it through their social media channels. And so social media influencers is a huge part of the internet right now, and because of that, a huge part of marketing and really what's working when it comes to marketing. But the thing is, the local business, a local upper cervical practice is not going to have a huge celebrity promote their practice, right? That's not something that's going to happen, right?
Not
Unless
realistic.
unless something remarkable happens, right? And they just happen to come into your practice. But there is ways that you can engage with local social media influencers, and in some ways it's more powerful than a big celebrity endorsement because it is local. It's someone who is from your community, who has a strong social media following and is engaged with people in your community, right? And so being able to position yourself with these local social media influencers and get some really engaging content that both impacts your practice and also impacts the local influencers' social media channels is a really powerful combination. And that's something that we've been exploring. We've been building out a, a network of these local social media influencers so that we can start to really test this and be able to see how this works in upper cervical practices. So it's really, really exciting.
Now, what if, playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, but like,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes, and including me, I'm like social media influencers. It's like just to be real, it's like, and part of me is like, oh, I scroll past that stuff. I'm like, I don't want to get involved with that stuff, right? It's like that's not going to fit. If I'm thinking like, there's got to be doctors that have that mindset. Maybe they're watching this right
Yeah.
now, going,
Yeah.
yeah, that's my question. So
Yeah.
like, what about those docs are like? I don't want to get involved with all this. I don't want to,
Yeah.
what why does that even matter to me? Does it even, that kind of a thing? How would you respond to that?
Well, the key thing to always understand and to remember when it comes to marketing in general is you're not always marketing to yourself, right? You're marketing to your target market. And so, does your target market engage with these local social media influences, or are they like them, right? Like if you get a local social media influencer who is a 45-year-old woman to come into your practice and film content, and she has a following of somewhere between 10 and 100,000 people who are in your local community, that's really powerful, right? That's
Yeah.
not something, it doesn't matter if you would watch the content or not. It's
Is it
would
connecting
your,
you?
yeah,
Is it
would your
connecting you with
target
those who
market,
need your help? Okay.
yeah, would your
Okay.
target market, would your ideal patient profile, would those people who are out there who are sick and suffering, who are the people that you want to help, would they watch this content, right? That's what matters most.
Cool.
So let's get into some of the, first of all, just who is this for, right? So if you're an upper cervical doctor, you're listening to this, you're watching this, and we're always talking about our practice growth stages, helping you understand where you are in the stages, what you need to do to grow from one stage to the next. And so for this particular strategy, what we've found is that it really starts with practice growth stage 2. If you're in practice growth stage 2 or above, this could be a good strategy for you. If you're brand new in practice, or if you're collecting less than $20,000 per month, there's other things that you could be doing that are going to be more valuable for you.
Right.
But if you're in, if you're over 20K per month, if you have associates in your practice or multiple associates or those types of things, even multiple locations, this would be a great strategy for you that can really, really move the needle and help you to get some really big impact from your marketing. So let's talk about local social media influencers. What are they all about? What is it? What are some of the benefits of this kind of marketing strategy specifically, and how it could impact you and your practice? And so basically what local social media influencers do, they help brands connect with their local communities and build brand equity, right? So it's essentially connecting their existing audience who trusts them, who likes them, who is engaged with them in their content with your brand, right? So it associates you with them. It gives you some of that already, the juice that they already have with that audience, right? It gives you some of that right away. And the other thing that's cool about them is they tend to have more, smaller audiences, but more devoted followers, right? Which can make it easier to target specific demographics. And so, so for instance, like if there's a 45-year-old woman in your community who has a social media channels that is focused on, lifestyle and health related things and things like that, where she's consistently putting out information that's related to health and wellness, for instance, and you could get that person to come into your practice, create content that's compelling and interesting, and then she puts that on her social media, and then also you're able to use it in your marketing. Man, it could be a powerful combination.
So it's custom, like done for the office. Like the office isn't creating here's what I need you to do. It's the person's doing it. The person who's the professional really then.
Exactly. So that's the cool thing about it. And we'll talk about this more in a minute, but they're used to be on camera, right? They're used to be on camera. So because what sometimes happens, right? When you get your patients, right, who get great results, and you have them do video testimonials, for instance, right? Sometimes the content, it's just not great, right? Because the person's not used to being on video, or they just might not be very engaging in their personality, right? They're not a social media influencer. They're not this kind of a personality that builds this type of an audience, right? So they may have a really amazing story, but the way that they tell it, or just their overall personality, doesn't convey it in an engaging way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, so that's one of the things with these types of people coming into your practice, is you get this content that's so much more powerful. And so, some of the benefits of this is that it's cost effective, right? Local influencers are much more affordable than obviously a global influencer that's going to cost you tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to, endorse your brand. Essentially, they tend to be more authentic, right? Because they're more relatable. They live in the same area. They share similar interests. They have a similar audience to what you're looking for. And they're able to, just engage more effectively with these people, because they have this audience. They're talking to them all the time. And it's easier for them to engage. And then also, as I mentioned, they just have that experience in front of the camera, right? If you give them the right direction, which is really what is such a key part of this, and what we have, because I've talked to some of some of our clients who are interested in doing this kind of thing in the past, and they've tried to reach out to these kind of local people. They don't even get them to call them back, and then if they do get them to call them back, then they're not sure how to direct them effectively get them to get the content that you need that's actually going to be beneficial, right? And so that's a big part of it. Is yes, they got this experience in front of the camera, but if you just have them show up to your practice, they're not going to necessarily get the right things. They're not going to be able to get you the right hooks, the right scripts, the right videos, the right shots, and all those kinds of things that someone who understands marketing of upper cervical practices could be able to do. But they also, they do have an in-depth knowledge of the local market, and they can help tailor campaigns and help to, call out certain things and show even local landmarks and that type of things as they're approaching you, and really just helping you to promote your business through these local influencers is a huge benefit. And then the other things, to think about is that this is fresh content, right? So obviously it's great that they're going to post what they create onto their social medias, right? Whether it's their Instagram or their TikTok or whatever it may be, Facebook. But the other huge thing is the content itself, right? When someone comes into your practice, spends a couple hours there getting video, getting pictures, record specific scripts that are directed for them to record specific hooks and all these kinds of things. This is a huge amount of tools in the tool bag that you can then use in your advertising strategy, in your SEO strategies, and those types of things that can make a huge impact, right? And then just, reinforcing customer loyalty, showing that you're connected with the local community, and then creating some SEO benefits too, as influencers mention a brand, link back to relevant pages, use company hashtags, that type of thing. Those can be good social signals for SEO. And so I wanted to give an example of what one of this type of video looks like. And so let me
giving them direction, like would the client do that? Would a doctor have to do that, or?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you try to do this yourself, then yes, you'd have to direct them. You have to figure out exactly how you'd want them to do this. But if you're engaged with us, if you're a client of us right now, or you will become a client of ours, we would do everything with them, right? We're going to have them sign a non-disclosure. We're going to give them a scope of work agreement. We're going to tell them exactly what they need to do and get done while they're there in the office. So they're not going to waste time, and you're not going to waste your time doing this. So
like a done for you turnkey,
exactly.
Way to just blast everything out there. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, for sure. So
here's a video.
Here's an example of a video. If you're watching this on the live stream, this is a video that was created for Reels. And so you can see that it's set up for Reels. And that's obviously one of the most powerful ways to use video right now is in Reels. So, but watch this, get an idea of what this looks like.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So for those of you on the podcast version, the audio version, that would have been, it's going to be difficult for you to understand that, but go and watch the video of this. But basically what we saw there is some specific content from an upper cervical practice, specific shots, specific videos, specific different interactions that are really, really powerful. And it's, that's a 1-minute video. That whole video can be used, obviously, but also you can cut that video in a lot of different in different versions and different things in order to use it in different ways with different hooks and different scripts. And so that's the kind of thing that we're talking about here. Getting that kind of a content with a local social media influencer can really be powerful. So if you're interested in this, what do we need? What should they do, Tony?
Well, let me know. Let's talk. You may have some more questions right now too, going, well, how would this even work? And what is the lead time? And how long does it take? And how much is it going to cost, right? All these different things. What kind of results should we expect to see? I would like to answer any and all of those questions or any others with you to see. Let's see if this is a good fit for you, and what kind of return you might expect for something like this. And so just schedule a time here. Go to UCMPracticeGrowthSystems.com, pick a practice growth strategy session, and let's get on the calendar, and then let's have a conversation. See if this would be a win for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're an existing client, you can certainly add this as an additional, basically content production piece, right? That we can get a local influencer in there, get this great content, be able to use it in your existing system. But if you're brand new with us, this is a great way to get started. Really, it's a great way to get started. You get this content right off the bat during your onboarding, and then we can use this as on an ongoing basis. This type of content, great way to kick it off. So yeah, reach out, go to UCMPracticeGrowthSystems.com, grab your strategy session there, talk with Tony, learn more about it. And we need to find out also if it's available in your area, right? There's not local social media influencers everywhere. And so learning about your particular area, your particular market, finding out what's best for you is key, whether or not it's this strategy or something else. If you're looking to grow your practice, we're the guys to talk to. Right?
That's it.
Right.
And by the way, this is just this is not an ongoing cost. This is a
one-time
one-off.
Yep.
Yeah. So like this is not going to be hitting your overhead constantly. So like that's just good news there too. But yeah, book that time. Love to see if we can help you out.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, doctors and students, for listening to another UCM podcast. I'm Dr. Bill Davis, and this has been Tony Hook and me on the UCM podcast. And as we always say, go team upper cervical.
Team upper cervical.